Yo, YouTube, what's going on? I am your host, AD, the RPA guy, and today I am joined by two guests, and I'll have them introduce themselves in a moment. But what we're going to be talking about today is what budding junior developers need to know today if they are trying to break into the tech space. On that point, I'm going to let my guy Kevin introduce himself. Kevin, talk to the people. Tell them who you are.
Oh yeah. So my name is Kevin Mohair, the process optimizer. I'm a junior developer.
I love it. And then Marquise, can you please introduce yourself to the folks?
Yeah. So I'm Marquise. I also go by Computer Keys. I have a channel podcast talking about tech. I've been in the field I've been doing this professionally like 8 years, I guess. Now I'm a senior developer. Just here to spit some knowledge, I guess.
I love it. All right. So first question. So we're gonna be talking about why tech sparked your interest, right? And Kevin, this question is coming your way. What originally drew you into tech and automation? What made you decide, yep, this is the field I want to break into?
Yeah, to keep it real as possible, man, I was thinking about the money, and I'm not gonna lie to you. The money attracted me. And honestly, I seen your video on Tech is the New Black. I watched it, bro. I was inspired. I was like, bro, I'm gonna just jump into it. I'm gonna trust him, what he says. He went to school in my city, so he can't be too bad, man. And here
Straight up, I appreciate that. My bad. Again, I didn't know people were born and raised there. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to are y'all considered Dentonites? Is that what you call Dentonians?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I swear I'm not trying to be funny. I just find this shit to be funny. All right, cool. So now obviously we got Keith here, someone who's been in the industry now for I think you said about 8 years, bro. So when
I'm posting this on my story.
I'll good. So when you look around at the teams you've worked with, right? What do you think motivates a lot of people to get into the field, and then like what keeps them in?
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna lie. Like the money is definitely a part of it for sure. But if you're somebody that likes solving problems, putting your head down, trying to figure things out, I think that the work itself will draw you in too, because you get a good chance to kind of, I don't know, figure things out. And I think that's part of what I like about it. So the money, but then once you get into the job, and obviously it's not all coding, but like once you get into the work itself, I feel like it plays a part in like what keeps you, but also like the work environment too. So you can like the work that you're doing, but not like where you are. And you might like where you are, but the work might be boring. And it might, like, I've on my channel, I've spoken with people that had like easy jobs and like easy work, but it wasn't engaging, it wasn't fulfilling. So I think all of that plays a part into it too. Like what draws you in might be one thing, but what keeps you there is going to be a whole bunch of other things. You know what I'm
saying? Maybe like the team, the culture, the benefits, the hours, there's a lot. Yeah, I heard somebody say
managers. Yeah, like
I heard someone say when you go get a job, right? I'm probably going to butcher this. They said you can get a job that is fulfilling, that pays well, or that is challenging, right? Like you get a challenge out of it, and you're probably not gonna get all three. So you really just choose between two that matter the most to you.
I don't know. I did like a bunch of contracts leading up to my job now. My job now, I've been here 3.5 years. It's my first like full-time job. Everything else coming out of, I did like a boot camp, and then they contracted me out. So coming out of there, I did like, I don't know, 4 or 5 contracts.
Do you have a degree?
Places. Yeah. I got I do a major computer science and computer security.
Okay.
So that's my degrees, but then I did a boot camp after college because I ain't really feel prepared. So I did that, John. They really prepared me for it. They contracted me out. So yeah, I mean, I would say to an extent, yeah, but up until my job now, I feel like I get those 3 things for sure. You might have to look around some. Your first job might not be like that. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I think you're blessed, bro, to enjoy your first job. I did not. I did not enjoy my first one. But yeah, we can talk about it. All right. So next, what beginners think tech is versus what it actually is, right? So Kevin, as you've been learning and really like exploring automation, what did you think the tech world was like at first, and what have you learned that surprised
Yeah, I thought it was a whole bunch of coding. I thought it was stuff you would never understand. I'm thinking like, bro, you got to be doing this. Either you got to be a genius or you got to be doing this since you was like 5 or 6 years old. Like this finna be so crazy.
you?
Now that I'm into it though, honestly, just kind of what you've taught me is it's not as hard as it seems. Like it's really not. It's just doing the work, learning as much as you can, and then asking questions and learning more along the way.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's flip it then, right? What are some uh keys? What are some misconceptions beginners usually have about tech roles that don't match the real day to day?
I think Kevin, you kind of spoke to like the meat of it. I think part of that is also the extra stuff that you're going to be doing. Like coding is like 40 to maybe 60% of the job. A lot of it, and I mean like just coding from scratch, like just putting your head down and coding. A lot of that is going to be debugging, figuring out certain things, testing stuff, making documentation, being in meetings, um, planning for other stuff, like a lot of planning things, especially if you're doing like an agile flow. You're gonna be in a lot of planning meetings, a lot of like department type of things, training. So like it's a lot of different parts of the job than just the coding part. So I think when I started and I came in, I expected to get in there and be coding. They had me testing for like this is my very first contract out of the boot camp. They had me testing for like months. So I'm like, I came here to code. I'm expecting a certain thing, but you also gotta remember that you're gonna kind of get put in where you fit. Like, especially as an entry level, you're gonna get put in and they're gonna use you how they need you. So you might be coding a little bit, you might be doing some stuff that you didn't really expect. So I was doing a lot of testing, but in the long run, the testing helped me out because I learned different technologies. I learned like HP Quality Center and stuff like that. But then also I learned more about the app itself, and then it prepared me later when I did start coding. You know what I'm saying? So like, start coming there open minded, ready to like do whatever you gotta do to like to get the. It's a team, so you know what I'm saying. Like, do what you gotta do to get the team where it need to be, and then play your role. And then as you do that, pull in the extra knowledge and stuff like that, and you'll be able to like really get to where you want to go. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. Okay. So Kevin, coming back to you, bro. What's one example of a small technical problem you've solved recently, even something simple, right, that taught you something about how automation or development actually works?
Oh man, I was building the bot. I just go back to my first or second bot. I was building it, man, and I was so stuck. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't want to ask no questions, and it was just honestly the selector wasn't right. It wasn't verified to click a button, like, and I was sweating over it, man. That was like, I was like, okay, here it is. Here's the stuff that I'll never understand. So that was one thing, bro. Like,
Hey,
that
your
was
self
sick.
belief sounds crazy, love. But go ahead. I got you. Go ahead. I got you.
Yeah, that was it, man. Like clicking a button, a selector to click a button, or something like that, bro. Just something so small where it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it'll ruin the whole bot.
Mm-hmm. And now that you've got the experiences you've built several bots, right? 10,
Yeah,
15, 20 bots.
yeah,
What would you go back and say to your newer budding self now?
yeah. Well, honestly, I would say something simple is just ask questions.
Yeah.
As you know, I had a hard time asking questions, man. I thought I should know it and figure it out, bro. Just ask, just
Mm-hmm.
ask.
So ego getting in your way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Got it. That tends to be the biggest part for
Yeah.
everybody. It's like they come in and it's like I should be smart enough to do this. Some shit I ain't never done before, and I should never have to ask any question. It's just like, bro, and I don't think that people don't understand that, bro. I tell people that like software developers specifically are a lot like hippies, right? Because like we share information. Like this is like, let's be real, bro. 90% of the job is you have a problem that needs to be solved that you've never solved before, but somebody on Stack Overflow has solved it before.
Right.
They've had this problem before, and you're just going to go get it, right? Like I still call up my friends now when I get stuck on something who I ain't seen in years and be like, "Hey, bro, can we hop on Zoom? I want to get your eyes on this." And sometimes it's just like you've been locked into this problem for so long that you can't see the solution, but you can get on the phone with somebody and they're like, "Bro, why don't you just try this?" And it's like, bro, it was that simple. It is that simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you because I was going to ask like why didn't you ask questions, because you mentioned that, and I definitely relate to that for sure. But as you go through it, it's just kind of natural at that, like you said, it's collaborative. So at a certain point, you don't mind being like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of it. Like you just always learning something new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then on top of that, the reaching out and saying, "Hey, I need help with this." When you become the guy who's getting the call and someone's reaching out to you like, "Hey, I need help with this," you feel good. Like, "Yeah, bro, I can do this." And if I can't, shit, it ain't my problem, it's yours. So I'm gonna try. Like I have no skin in the game, right? But I'm gonna try. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so coming back to you, Keith, how often does your job really come down to solving small problems like that? Debugging, troubleshooting, figuring things out as you go.
I'll say a lot, because especially now, like I'm working on some new technologies. We're going into Supergraph, which is something I haven't worked with before. So I'm like learning it.
What is Supergraph?
So if you're familiar with RESTful services, that's where you just have like an API on the side. You have a client calls that thing. But with REST, you need different endpoints. So I need an endpoint to get all the products, and then the endpoint to get all the orders. And these are with Supergraph, it's like imagine a container holding the products in here, it holds the orders in here, it holds these different things, and you can just query this whole container and get just the data you need out of there. I don't got to get the whole payload. I don't got to worry about mapping all these different things. I just got
I can go and get just this product ID, and that's it. Not an extra stuff that come with it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So like you set your query up, you onboard with the query, and then you get just whatever 2-3 fields you need for what you do. Get out of there, set, do whatever you do with your API, and then you keep going. So it's like a newer thing, I would say. So I've been learning that. And so that's been a lot of debugging. That's been a lot of asking questions and stuff to the architects and stuff like that. Like, where am I going wrong here? A lot of testing, a lot of looking at references and stuff. And because what my team is doing specifically hasn't really been done yet in regards to this whole infrastructure, it's been me figuring a lot of stuff out as I'm going through. So everything's not going to be like this. It just depends on the effort. Like, a lot of work is just going to be maintaining stuff. So like once we're done with this major effort, it's just going to be kind of, little enhancements here and there, a lot of maintenance work and stuff like that. But when you're on something like this, it's a lot of debugging. So a lot of, troubleshooting, everything in there. But it comes in waves. Sometimes you're going to be doing it more than others.
I got you. I love it. So let's get into collaboration and communication in tech teams, right? Kevin, as you've learned more, right, what have you realized about the importance of communication and teamwork in tech roles?
Yeah, just kind of like what I mentioned earlier, man. Asking questions helps so much. Bro, it helps the stress. Like, it'll help in your personal life. Like, if you stuck on something, bro, it will bother you like all day. Like, if you got a girl or a wife, it might carry over to that, bro. Like, it gets serious. Like, if you're really thinking about this and you have to get it done, bro. So I would say, like, bro, it's so important to have people that you can talk to.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And then Keith, what qualities make someone easy to work with on a dev team? Like, what behaviors stand out from juniors who succeed?
I would say like the eagerness to learn, like that hunger to be the one to figure things. I look at it like when you're playing ball or something like that, or like the person that want to step up on defense and be like, I'll stick ball, or like I'll be the one to take the charges and stuff like that. Like a team player. I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously, I don't want nobody stretching themselves too thin or like getting burnt out or nothing like that. But within reason, like being open to taking them opportunities, I think stands out amongst your team, and then that's how you stand out with like upper management and stuff like that too. If that's your goal, if you want to like keep moving up and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say like being able to be the person that's ready to step up and like keeping yourself up to
Mm-hmm.
date and knowledgeable, so that when your opportunity comes, you can like take it and you go.
So like constantly learning new things, right?
Mhm.
And then being the person willing to say, hey, I'll step up and do this, even if you've never done it, even if you don't know how to
Right,
do it, and trusting
right.
yourself that you're gonna figure something out along the
Yeah,
way.
and then like Kevin saying, like still be open to asking questions too, because that's gonna show me that you're ready to like I don't want somebody that's gonna do that and then sit on the work and be like, embarrassed to look like they don't know what they're doing. Like get the work, do your Googles, do all of that, find your references and stuff. You need help. I'm the senior dev. Come to me. Like I want to see that type of thing where it's like that shows me that you're trying to learn. You're trying to get to that end goal. And then as you damn, I had another point. But yeah, that's pretty much that's like the gist of what I'm saying. Um yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, hey Kevin, what are you personally doing right now to prepare yourself for your first role? Whether that's studying, practicing, building projects, whatever.
Yeah, definitely a lot of practicing, building bots, studying as well. A couple new things here and there will pop up, but mostly just building bots, bro. Just
I
staying
love it.
focused, trying to build 2 to 3 every week and just stay on top of it.
I love it. I love it. Practicing your craft.
Yes.
Um, and then Keith, what are some simple things beginners can do right now to make their first 6 months in tech go smoother?
Practice. I mean, Kevin been on it. I'm not gonna lie. So do the job. Like at the end of the day, if you can, especially if you have a job lined up and you got the job description and everything, or if you could get in touch with your manager or something like that and see what type of work you're gonna be doing, you can start practicing now. Start building bots. Start working out a portfolio, or just make a site. Whatever your interests are, just do the job. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
prepare you. And then like I said, with the job description, if they're mentioning certain things like Jira or CRM or whatever, like might be technologies and tools y'all using specific to your role, look those things up. Watch some videos on YouTube about Jira and just get a little familiar with the agile flow and how the boards work, how the metrics work, and all that stuff, and just kind of come in there ready to like you're already warmed up, so that when they're putting you in there and you're ramping up and everything, it's gonna be a little easier because you done
Yeah.
ramp yourself up to
I'm
that.
hearing you say be familiar.
As
Be
familiar as you can be.
proactive. Do the work beforehand.
Yeah.
Become familiar with the tools, even if it's just a little bit. So
hmm
that way, when you start the job, this is not new things. You're not
Yeah.
all like wide-eyed and scared.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Shock
fuck
to
am
your
I looking
system.
at? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
You're familiar to some degree, and
Yeah.
now that learning curve is shorter because
hmm
you've played with it, you've touched it, you've
Yeah.
seen it, you've done something with this
Exactly.
before. Yeah, no, that's perfect,
Exactly.
bro. Another question I'm just thinking of: what about if I'm trying to follow that advice you just gave? What about if there's like a technology that like typically you have to be in a large organization in order to get your hands on?
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of harder or is a lot less useful if you the individual are using it and you don't
Mhm.
have an organization. How would you say someone goes about getting practice with something like that?
Yeah. I would say that's probably relatable to something like AWS, where you can set that up for your hosting. Let's say you're working on a personal site or something and you're using AWS for one of their services or something like that. Usually that's more like an enterprise thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is start with the videos. If you can find videos or documentation, which majority of the time you can,
Mm-hmm.
find that documentation, find those videos, and watch stuff about that thing. Even if it's something that you can't get your hands on because they only offer it to companies or something like that, like
Mm-hmm.
try to get your hands on it. Or if try to get videos and stuff about it. If you can get your hands on it, try to play with it on a smaller scale. So like with AWS or something, like set up a little ECS, set up your database through RDS, set up a Lambda, like just try these different things just to get familiar. Even if you're only getting familiar with the look of AWS, now when you go into that joint and you're like, the first time they're like, oh, we need you to go in there and try to update this. This is your first ticket. Going in there and updating the stacks in the test region or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you go in there and you're looking, you're not just like a shock to your system, like we said, like you're a little more familiar with that thing, even if it's just knowing what it looks like beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Even as simple as like Googling that thing and looking at the images and seeing what it looks like, seeing the layout, the UI of it, and just kind of putting that, ingraining that into you so that when you do open this thing and you see it, it's just not as like random or like unsure to you. But yeah, it just depends on what the thing is. If you can find videos, find that. If you can get your hands on it, just try it on a very small scale. Just to
I'm hearing you say just become familiar to the best that you can.
Yeah.
Outside of an enterprise organization.
I look at it like a little bit is gonna be better than nothing. Like 1%. If even if I just they come in there and we're like, okay, we the Scrum board is on Jira. If that's your first time hearing Jira, you're gonna be like,
what the fuck is Jira?
You're already in that mode of like, okay, hold on. It's immediately something I don't know. And it's not even a big deal. Jira is just what we use to track stories and stuff like that. But as an entry level dev coming in, you might be like, oh, hold on. Jira, I didn't prepare, I didn't know nothing about this or whatever. So it's just like the more prepared you are, the more confident you're gonna be. That's just how I look at stuff. Whether it's an interview, whether it's starting a job, playing a sport, the more preparation you do, the more confident you'll be. The more confident you are, typically, the better you'll perform. You know what I'm saying? You don't be overconfident either. Like, know your limitations too. Know what you can and can't do. But, yeah, be prepared. Be prepared.
I love it. All right, guys. So that is it for today's discussion. Hopefully, the newer and up and coming guys who are really trying to get into the industry have learned some things, and then hopefully the guys, those of you who are in the industry right now, you're just not getting your feet wet, and you're really feeling like, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I can't say that out loud to nobody. Hopefully, you found this, you know what I'm saying, useful too, because I know that was me for my first few years.
Are y'all y'all got like a few minutes? I wanted to ask Kevin some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So like what type of work are you doing now? Are you doing automation like the RPA, or are you doing more coding?
Yeah, automation RPA.
Okay. How long you been doing it for?
I don't want to say almost a year, probably about 9 months now, maybe a little.
Oh, so it's really fresh. And with your learning process, like what was it? Was it strictly AD's university? Was it some other certification processes or something? Like what would you do to gain the knowledge?
Yeah, at first it was all AD. Then, like I said, I was struggling, man. So I was using anything. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Google. I'm trying to turn on subtitles on the YouTube and still can't get it. I'm using everything. So yeah, it was mainly AD, but it was some YouTube stuff as much as I could, use.
No, that's cool. And before that, did you have like a history in tech or anything? Like were you doing stuff before that?
Nah, I didn't have a history in nothing tech. I was too scared to even look at it, let alone try it. So yeah.
At least to be honest,
yeah.
No, I like that though.
Yeah, because there's a lot of entry points in the tech, and there's so many things that you can learn. And I'm imagining from your perspective, Kevin, like it's like I believe some people believe, oh, I gotta learn it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to specializing on 1% of the industry. Yeah. That can be, scary.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I do got a question for both of y'all. I've been wanting to know. What's one thing, if there is something that y'all would change, like when y'all kind of started?
You want to go first, AD?
One thing I would have changed about what?
Just the whole process of getting into it, or how you got into it, or
I mean, I definitely wouldn't have went to college. Like I say that now that I've been in the industry and I have a degree, and I'm sure my degree has helped me get a job. But like, bro, just like you, there were courses like data structures and algorithms, right? Like that was difficult for me. I still don't know a lot of that stuff. But like I was on YouTube trying to learn. I would go to class, they teach it, I didn't get it. I would go to the computer lab after the fact, still didn't get it. And then I would get on YouTube and I would find someone who would break it down and make it super simple. I'm like, oh bro, I get this. And I got my degree and it was like, bro, I've really learned all of this on YouTube. I really did. And there's nothing, me personally, I don't believe there's anything in tech that I can't already learn that's not on YouTube. Yeah. I would have just taught myself more. I would have saved myself the student loan debt. I would have, knowing what I know, like I literally, I was a week out from graduation on YouTube. Like, hold on, bro, I'm a senior in college, paying all this money. I don't understand and a lot of these professors, they like to speak and sound intelligent, which they are, but they speak in such a way that they want you to know they're intelligent, as opposed to speaking in such a way that simplifies the input or the material so that you can absorb it and learn it, if that makes sense. Okay. Right. So I would not have went to college. I would probably do a boot camp and I would go on YouTube and I would network with guys like Keith and I would be like, hey bro, I'm new. I don't know nothing. Like, do you mind if I what do you do for work? Like, can you log in your laptop? Can you show me what is Jira? What is Agile? Like, can you help me speak intelligently to these things in interviews? That's what I would do.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think, like you said, I probably would do a boot camp now. Something like now specifically, I would do a boot camp. Back then, I think the reason I needed the boot camp was because I didn't really apply myself in school. So I was more so focused on, especially when I started working my senior year and then my super senior year, because it took me 5 years. So when I started,
I ain't never heard anybody say super senior. My bad. Go ahead. I ain't never heard that before.
Yeah. So when I started working, like I was working full time and stuff, like not full time. I was working 2 jobs up school. So it was like I was paying my man for the program sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like doing my little $5. He sent me the app.
For $5? And that boy was working. That's affordable.
So stuff like that. Like I would have applied myself differently and I would have looked more into the actual job. So the reason when I got out of school I didn't feel prepared was because I was doing the work to pass instead of doing it to really understand it. And then I wasn't looking at what the job actually entailed. So like, yeah, you can write some Java to do the Fibonacci sequence or something like that, but do you know how that applies to working at PNC or something like that? Like doing a actual API or working with other old systems that they have and stuff like that. So I would have prepared myself more coming out of school. And I think that's where people like real quick, when you feel like you wasted your degree or something like that, like they people get a degree in something and then they end up doing something completely different. Part of that problem is picking a major and not looking at what the job is going to be, and so you end up out of there and you don't know what you was going. You like pick the easy major, or you pick the major because it's going to pay well, but then you don't even like the job. Like, you know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. So have your major. What I would do different, have my major computer science once I finally landed on that one, and then know the material and understand the job that I'm gonna be doing. All of that stuff would have had me in a better position. For sure. Bro, I mean, it worked out, but
I think I have a feel. I don't. Did you ever use Rate My Professor? When you were in school? Okay, that's cool. I have a feeling most of your computer science professors did not describe things in such a way that you were like, bro, I get this. I think
that's a good point. That's a very good point.
So the instructors be the problem to me, bro.
I agree.
And as a guy who likes to take accountability, I'm saying I struggle with this because, bro, to Kevin's point, I had classes with people. I remember I got my first job at AT&T, and I had like Jewish coworkers, and they had been writing code since 10. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there were those kind of people in my classes, but at the same time, like, bro, I'm not dumb. I can learn the content. It just was like, bro, everybody failed my first computer science class. Everybody. Like the grading curve is so bad that like if you made a D on the test, they just They just like, what do they call that? Where they kind of level it so like the lowest
Yeah,
person still gets an A, bro. So
yeah.
that to me is
The
proof
curve,
that
yeah.
instructors are a lot of the problems today.
No, I agree for sure because I had some coding knowledge. Like I was doing like little HTML sites and stuff like that when I was a young boy, but not no level of like Java and
Mm-hmm.
structures and all that. But
Bro, MySpace don't count as
from
coding, bro. I can't
no
stand
no
it.
no,
Talking about,
I'm talking
like,
about
what
with
the
my,
hell? Go ahead, go
no,
ahead.
with my dad. My dad's a computer technician, so
You did say that.
yeah, he had a but he didn't want to do the site. So when he would have a site, he would show me like just little stuff, and I would just it was like static web pages. You know what I'm saying? He was just throwing stuff
Mm-hmm.
on there. But for my Calc 3 professor, he told us his goal was to get as many people to drop the class as possible. So like you're gonna encounter bad professors that take pride in how hard their thing is when really it's just them not being good teachers. But yeah, no, I think that plays a part in it too. Because you get to a point where it's like I'm just gonna do what I gotta do to pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just the environment, I would say maybe
Bro,
like
they're nerds. That's the problem. They're nerds. And you know it's funny. You know how like if who's a celebrity right now, everyone knows. So like Kai Cenat, right? If Kai Cenat were to go walk through the mall, right? I'm sure most of the people know there, like the young people know who he is. They kind of like would clamor around him. I shit you not. I remember there was a day at the campus where the guy who invented the coding language C, or is it C++, one of those two, old, bald, whatever. I wouldn't know who he is. He's on the campus, and I'm seeing the professors clamor around this guy. They're just like giggling little girls, right? And it's like that's who they aspire to be. They see him as incredibly intelligent, and he did something very difficult that most people couldn't do, and so like they're almost teaching as if like they want you to see them the way they see him. Does that make sense? As opposed to like my favorite professor, I ended up taking this guy 3 or 4 times. He was just like, look, my content is so simple, you ain't even got to come to class because I teach the same thing. We're going to have 12 sessions. Each of the 12 sessions are the same 12 sessions I teach every year, and they're already recorded online. So if you don't want to show up, just watch that. And he told me that, and he said, look, if all you do is the work that I give you to do, you're not going to be that good. So you want to do extra work outside of here. Right. Just bro, like that guy made the difference in my computer science career. Right. And then he retired right after I graduated. I was like, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm glad I was here at the time that this guy was. And he intentionally wanted to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I think that definitely plays a part. The quality of the professor.
Don't get me started on professors. I don't have nothing good to say about them. I don't like them.
But at least now you don't, like you said, you don't need school now. Like even the boot camp I did at the time, they required a degree. Now they like everybody. Yeah, at the time it was like 2012. No, that was 2017. I'm tripping.
So
yeah,
it was
2017.
So that program was specifically for people who had got out of college and felt like, hey, I don't know enough. I need a bit more, and before I get my job.
Yeah. So their whole thing was enterprise level technology. So I learned Angular 2, HTML, like not just that, but like the way all of that full stack development. I came out at it as a full stack developer, and they contract you out. So if you needed and for me, it counted as my internship. So it was like a multiple layer thing for me. But for finding a job and stuff like that, I'm like, they're going to pay me to train me and then contract me out for 2 years. It was like $50K per year or something like. But for me to get my foot in the door, that was all of that stuff played a part in that. And like why I took that. But now you don't need none of that. You don't need a degree. You could just they said we'll take whoever, which I love. And that's the whole point. Like you can learn everything online now. Like you don't need a degree, honestly.
Nope. And then companies are not requiring them either. Like Tesla.
Exactly.
Tesla was saying, bro, we don't care about your degree. Show us your work. Show us your code. You know what I'm saying? So like when people come to me and they're like, oh, I got to get a certification and a degree, I'm like, bro, no, you don't. You just bullshitting. You wasting time. You don't know what you're doing. See, I told you I was gonna curse. You bullshitting. You wasting time. You don't know what you're doing. You're scared, and you don't know what else to do. I'm sitting here telling you that you don't need these things as time is going on. And then we got the advent of AI, bro. I don't know if you feel this way, Keith, but as AI is coming, everything is becoming easier. Like what you need to know today in order to be a productive developer is a lot less than what you needed to know 10 years ago, which is a lot less than what it used to be 20 years ago. Like there's more tools, but using them is becoming easier and easier and easier. What are your thoughts on that?
One thing I'll say is you still got to have your base level of understanding. Like you want to understand code and general logic. Even if you don't know the language, like I never formally learned Python, but I know Python because I know Java and JavaScript and these other things. So you need to understand logic in general and the code in general, know how to read code so that when the AI gives you something, the solution and is giving you something that's not about to help you, you got to be able to fix the AI stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't be that person that only relies on AI, but don't be that person that's like, I ain't using AI because it's here. So you got to find that balance of sometimes I'm using Copilot. I'll see what it says. For the most part, I'll let it autocomplete, generic code. If I'm writing like doing a normal Pojo, just a Java object, or I'm writing a unit test or something like that, and I write the name of the test, and it's going off of the previous test I did, and it's autocomplete and stuff like that. Yeah, that stuff is making the job way easier. Yeah. But still, I need to be able to go through and understand what that test is doing. You know what I'm saying? So
let me give you another example of what I mean. So API requests, right? Sending it. This is my little definition of what an API request is. It's sending and receiving information over the internet without using a browser. That's what it is. Right? We're sending and receiving payloads. So like you've got tools like Make and Zapier and stuff like that, right? Where all you're doing is plugging in the variables. It takes care of the rest of the stuff.
You see what I'm saying? That's the thing though. So I haven't used that because of my company and a lot of companies, like I mentioned PNC earlier, like a lot of institutions that have been around, they're very slow to adapt to certain things.
I believe it.
So they're using a lot of technology. Just people still using COBOL and like older baked languages and stuff like that. So you gotta, if it's a newer company, like stuff like that, that'll come in handy. Or if you're building your own stuff, I would say try that stuff out and play with that, add that, make a specific project that's for that, but still understand these other things because a lot of these companies are still using regular REST calls and like stuff like that. So you got to at least know how to read code, at least know how to understand code to a certain extent, I would say, because it's a lot of automated tools, but there's a lot of stuff that's like, you go to an old company, they still using that shit. So
I believe it. I believe it. And I would use AI to teach me code. Like I would have it like
for sure
a simple
for sure
script that does X, Y, and Z, and then break down each line to me individually as to what is doing. And okay, now give me a test to tell me to write a piece of code that does X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. And then also taking the code that AI gives you and running it yourself to make sure, like, just kind of understanding what stuff is doing. Go in there, add some breakpoints, and let it play through and see what these different things are doing. Like, the tools are there. Like you said, like all the tools are there. It's just how you use them and how you apply your time to like actually learning that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Any other questions that you have, Kevin, or anything else before I end the stream?
No, I'm all good.
Do you have any questions? No, nobody. There's 2 people watching it right now, so nobody sends any questions in. All right, cool. Well, this was dope, man. Probably we're gonna have more of these. Keys, I know you had a chick who we never got to hop on here with. Maybe we do another one of these in like 2 weeks or so. And we just make it bigger and I bring some more folks on. But man, I've been your guys' host, AD the RPA guy. I appreciate both my guests for coming. Keys, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, Computer Keys, it's computer with a Q, Keys, or Heis Keys, HEISQIS on Instagram. My site, heiskeys.com, YouTube, Computer Keys. Music available on all platforms. That's like a little side track.
Love it.
Yeah, that's it.
And then Kevin, where can the people find you at?
Yeah, my name is the same on LinkedIn. My YouTube Medium blog post is Kevin Mohair the process optimizer.
I love it. I love it. All right, man. Well, till next time, we've been your hosts. Signing off. Appreciate y'all.